Hello everyone and welcome back to this channel. So in today's video I'll be showing you how to make this trendy dress. So guys, if this is something you'd like to learn, let's get started. So first of all, we'll be drafting this on the pattern. I already went ahead to take my body measurement. What I have here is my bust line, my waistline, my hip line, then the full length of the dress. Then I also have my neck width, which is our regular neck width, then the armhole measurement. So next measurements we need on this part is where you want the gathering to start. So that point where you want your gathering to start, like you see on the picture, is the measurement you are trying to achieve. So I use 19 inches, but you can just go ahead and draw 2 inches from your waistline down or 1 inch from your waistline down, depending on how you want the gown to turn out. So next I'll go ahead and mark my dart measurements, although I will not be making use of a dart on this dress. But if you would like to make use of a dart, I'm just going to show you how to cut out your dart. So I'm just marking my dart, which is my nipple to nipple divided by 2. Then I came down on my bust line by 0.75. Now rule that line. I also extend my dart line to the full length of the dress. Then on the waistline, you're going to come out by half an inch on both sides of the line. Then we'll connect it to the 0.75 it came down by on the bust line. So I'm just going to connect it like so. Then that half an inch it came out by, we are going to also extend it down to the full length of the dress. So I'm just going to connect it like so. So next, you're going to take your bust measurement on your bust line, divide your bust measurement by 4. Then you're going to add your seam allowance, whatever seam allowance you'll be needing. Then on your waistline, you have your waist measurement divided by 4. Then the dart allowance, you're going to be replacing it, and also your seam allowance. Same thing goes on the hip line. So what you have on the hip line should be the same thing you have on the hem of the dress. So I'm just going to mark what I have on my bust line or my armhole line, then go ahead and connect those lines we just made. So guys, next you want to determine how wide you want your center front to be. For me, I made use of 3 inches. You just go in by 3 inches, then connect it to this line, that line we made for where the gathers is going to start. So make sure you don't make this center front too wide. You know it is on fold, and by the time you open it up, you have times 2 of what you marked. So 3 inches is just fine. So next, over to the armhole, you're going to divide your armhole by 2. Remember, this is the front bodies. Then you're going to come in by half an inch. Then you're going to connect it like so. So guys, next I'll go ahead and take out the dart allowance. Like I said initially, I won't be making use of a dart on this dress. So I'm just going to subtract 1 inch from this, then mark the initial measurement I have here. Then I'll cancel the marks I'm not using anymore. So this is the line I'll be cutting out. So before I cut out, I'll just go ahead and mark my neck depth and also my neck width and connect those lines together. So guys, we're done with the drafting of the front bodies. I'll go ahead and cut this out. So also go ahead and cut out this part here. Next, we'll be cutting this on the main fabric. And this dress is supposed to be a long dress, so we'll be adding to the length of the dress. So guys, for this side piece we have here, we'll be making use of a slash and spread method. I'm just going to slash this into 3 equal sides in no particular order. I had about 6 inches, so I just marked 2 inches in 3 places. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect these lines. So guys, just do this in actually no particular order. Then I'm going to roll these lines like so. So after doing this, we're just going to number the piece so we don't misplace it. 3, 2, 1. That's how I did it. The 1 is going towards the center front, while the 3 is the side front. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut these pieces out. Next, we'll be placing this on the fabric and cutting it out. So I went ahead to place it like so, and then the side front will be on the folded part. So there'll be no joining at the sides, while the place where we numbered 1 will be at the opening part. So to get your fold, I think I found an easier way to do it. So you just bring back your center front, then you're going to measure where you want the gathers to stop. I want mine to stop on the hip line. So I'm just going to measure what I have around that side from where my seam allowance is. So I'm taking out my seam allowance, then you measure from where you want your gathers to stop and where it will start. So I have about 6.5 inch. So 6.5 times 3, I had about 18 inches. So this is actually folded in 20. The rest to be like an allowance. Then this 20, remember, is on fold. So 20 for the front and 20 for the back. I hope you guys understand that. So I went ahead to rule out my starting point. That line should be my starting point. Then placing my pieces half inch below the starting point. So the first piece I have there was my side seam. Remember, the side is where it's going towards the folded part. So 6 inches later, I placed my second piece. Then 6 inches later again, I'm placing my other seam. So remember, this is not supposed to be on a straight line. So this piece is actually cut out like this. So I'm just going to trace out that line like so. So it is not supposed to be like a straight, all of them are not supposed to start on the same point. So this one is actually starting from here, while these other two pieces were starting at the same point. So I'm just going to connect it like so to give me that shape of how it actually was before the slash and spread method. So guys, next I'm just going to go ahead. Like I said, this is supposed to be a long dress. So I'm just going to mark out the length, actual length of the dress, then go ahead and cut it out. So on this top part, you're going to have at least half an inch for joining to the dress. So guys, for the main bodies of this dress, I went ahead to cut out my front bodies, which is on fold. I have my allowance on this side and also on the shoulders. So I use the same pattern to draft out for the back bodies also. So the only difference between the front and the back is the neckline. So I brought my neckline for the back upwards. I had about 1.5 inch for the neck depth. Then also on this armhole area, that's what half inch we came in by. We don't need it at the back bodies, so we brought it back out. So every other thing remains the same for the front and the back. So next we'll be joining the front bodies to the back bodies, right side facing right side. Just go ahead and place your back bodies like so. Then we'll be joining on the shoulders. So just join by whatever seam allowance you left on the shoulders. Then also go ahead and pipe the neckline. Then I'll also join the side seam by the allowance I left with this. So just go ahead and join the shoulders, pipe your neckline, and also join on the side seam. So I went ahead to do that. This is what it looks like. I went ahead to sew on both sides and also went ahead to fix my zipper and also close down the back bodies. So this is what it looks like after piping the neckline and everything is all set. So next we'll be bringing back this side piece. We'll be joining into the dress and I'm just going to adjust this so it fits my camera length. So on this side piece, you have to get the center point of this side. So just go ahead, place it together and notch the center point. So we'll be working on one piece first. So I'm just going to placing this aside. So go ahead and notch the center point. Once you've gotten the center point, we'll go ahead and sew this to the main bodies of the dress. So we'll be sewing right side facing right side. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and determine my hip length. So just that's my hip line. Remember, that is where my gathers is going to stop. So I'm just going to mark my hip line from my shoulder to my hip. Then I'll be placing this right side facing right side on one end. So right side facing right side, you go ahead and sew by whatever seam allowance you left, and you're going to stop on this hip length like so. I'm just going to stop on this hip length. Then I'll do the same thing for the other back bodies. I'm just going to transfer it to the back and also sew right side facing right side. Then I'm going to stop exactly on my hip length. So guys, I'm just going to take that to my sewing machine and do that and show you guys what it looks like. So guys, after sewing, this is what it looks like. This is the wrong side of the dress. As you can see, I went to sew by half an inch and I stopped exactly on my hip length. So this is the wrong side and I stopped here. As you can see, the mark of the hip length, I stopped there. So the next thing you're going to do is run a loose stitch from this point we stopped all the way to the other point. So as you can see, I already did that. I went ahead on my machine and run a loose stitch from one point to the other. Then we are going to go ahead and start gathering this up. So you'll be pulling one thread. Remember, you're gathering gently. You don't want the thread to cut. So I'm going to gather this point up to the midpoint notch I have here, and also start on the other end and gather to the midpoint we notched. So once I was done with that, I also went ahead to use my chalk to make that midpoint visible so we don't miss it. So once we're done with that, I'm just going to go ahead and place this midpoint on the side seam. So I'll be doing that from the wrong side of the dress. So you're going to go ahead and place it like so, and go to your sewing machine and sew by 1/2 inch or whatever seam allowance you left. So I'm just going to sew it midpoint to midpoint, then sew it all the way to the other end, and also do same on the other side. So guys, we are done with this dress. I also went ahead to fix my sleeve, and as you can see, the gown came out really beautiful. If you'll be trying this, let us know, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel if you're yet to, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.